I was in high school. I hooked up with this one girl, and we were doing all sorts of stuff, and she stops me. And she's like, Jason, you're not going to leave me like the other guys, are you? And I was like, no. And she's like, oh, you're so sweet. And I was like, okay, all right, anyway, and whatever. And we did different things, then we came up to that line, and I had to ask myself, okay, should I lose my virginity to this girl? And I thought, well, do I love her? And I thought, well, I've known her for 3 days. And I'm like, what is love? And I could hear in the back of my heart this voice that just said, Jason, this gift is not for her. That gift is for your bride. Please wait for her. And we cooled things down. We went our separate ways. I hooked up with another girl, came right up to the line, and then the same voice, Jason, this gift is not for her. That gift is for my bride. Please wait for her. And we cooled things off. And so to this day, I'm still a virgin, and I'm as happy as those of you who are virgins. I say good for you, because people who get married as virgins have a divorce rate that's 60 to 70% lower than those who won't wait for marriage. Now, some of you are thinking, 7th graders, and they sneak into a convenience store and they shoplift like Jolly Rancher candies, and they're like, and then they like run into the parking lot. They're like, they run funny because they're all disproportionate because of puberty. They're like, their feet are too big and their knuckles drag. And then, they get into the parking lot, and then they hide behind a dumpster, and they pull the candy out, and they're like, I got a red one and a grape one. Whoop, a grape one. Did you get some? Did you get some? And you notice the same mentality. Dude, you get some with that chick? Dude, you sexually conquer that girl? Because if you emptied of her innocence, you robbed her purity. Dude, you're the man because you emptied the girl. And we know that this is totally missing the point of manhood. I don't get my manhood. To be honest, the reason, honestly, why I always confused love with lust in high school is because the influence in my life back then of the pornography. And the thing is that when the teenage girls find out the teenage guys struggle with the pornography, it's not that the girls are all mad at us. They just feel sorry for us that we can't relate to women in a more interesting way. Because as a guy, the pornography as a guy is the perfect way for a guy to shoot his future marriage in the head. Because it trains photos. That when you're looking at porn, you're not looking at just some naked body, you're looking at the corpse of a woman's heart. But we would laugh it off, saying, dude, I'm not hurting anyone. Married as a guy and you have the porn, ask yourself one question. Ask yourself, dude, is my bride's body, is it worth waiting to see? Or is she frankly not even worth waiting to see? Because if I can trash the porn tonight, I'm training myself in faithfulness before I ever even meet that girl. You look at the pornography, it takes like 20 seconds to look at it, then it takes like 20 years to forget what you saw. And you as a guy could...
Seems to happen sometimes is that girls will give guys sex for the sake of getting the love from them. And guys will give girls the love for the sake of getting the sex from the girls. And it can go both ways. Now, with this lifestyle, I got into the partying, I got into the drinking, I got into the clubbing. You name it, I was into it. And granted, at the time, yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. It was very attractive. And I know what that's like. But I also know what it's like to wake up the next day when that party's over, when those friends are gone, and when I was there by myself. And I remember waking up thinking, I can't believe I did that last night. I hope I don't have to see his face in the hallway at school on Monday. What if he tells everybody what we did last night? What if I'm pregnant? What am I going to tell my mom? What if I have a disease now? What am I going to do? All of these things. Jason here has waited 27 years for his future bride. In 2 weeks, we're getting married. I can't stand up here and say, on those Friday nights, on those weekends I was out partying with my friends, I held myself back for love of him. That I was respecting my body for love of my future husband, because I wasn't, and that's a lie. And I can stand up here and I can look in your eyes, all of your eyes. But every day for the rest of my natural life, I will look into those eyes. And it tears me up that I allowed someone to rob him of a gift that was meant solely for him and no other. Now, Jason knows if anyone makes fun of you for living out a lifestyle of chastity, of purity, of respecting your body and you get made fun of for that, you remember it. You remember every single word they say to you. Go home, make a book of it, write it all down. Because when you stand in front of your bride or in front of your husband on your wedding day, you tell me, where is the laughter? Where is the mockery? Who is going to be making fun of you then? Nobody. There will be complete. Those of you in the audience that are virgins, I have the utmost respect for you. And I think that is just awesome. And don't ever be ashamed of that, but be proud of that. Because I know plenty of people who would love to trade places with you, and I am one of them. For those of you in the audience that have made past mistakes, I don't care where you've been, I don't care what you've done, because frankly, I've been there and I've done that. And it is never too late to start over. There was a girl in Philadelphia.
Wedding coming up, we're setting the foundation for our love together. We're doing different things. Like number one, there's no way that we're going to live together before we get married. You know, shack up and cohabitate. You know how some couples live together, they play house for a little while, test drive each other, then they get married? You ever check out what their divorce rate is in marriage for couples who cohabitate then marry? They have a divorce rate of 80%. 8 out of 10 of them get divorced because they don't know what makes love work. They think you can just test drive each other. So we're not going to shack up. Number two, no way are we going to sleep together before our wedding night. If I had sex with Kristalina tonight, I would be lying to her. My body would be saying, I give myself totally to you. I belong completely to you. Everything that I'm giving is yours. But it'd be a lie. I don't belong to her. I'm not her husband. Even if my intent...
We're training ourselves in faithfulness. Chastity trains you in that faithfulness. Because one day when we're married, I'm just going to be 9 months pregnant, ready to go. And Jason is going to be at work. And he might have some cute little hot secretary now. Do you think the same temptations won't be there just because he has a ring on his finger? Of course not. They're still going to be there. But the thing is, he's trained himself.
Where to go from here? I'd say, girls, take off after school, go to a shopping mall, buy a white candle, let your husband light that on your wedding night as a sign of the purity that you've maintained from this day until the day that he lifted your veil. And if you've made some mistakes, it is never too late.